But here's where it gets weird. When the stakes are higher, we aren't just more interested in collecting useful information. We're more interested in collecting useless information. Information that doesn't help us solve the problem. I'm just going to repeat that. When we are in a high-stakes situation, we are compelled to collect useless information. Do you see how that can be weaponized? If we can be convinced something important is on the line, we can be manipulated into valuing and consuming useless information. And then what happens when an advertisement comes into view? Do we turn off the high absorption and overvaluing of useless information? No, we don't. We're in a semi-hypnotic state, highly vulnerable to the tools of suggestion. This is one way citizens have been turned into consumers. At this point, I hope there's something you'll consider. Just because someone is telling you the facts doesn't mean they're telling you the truth. The lie is in the delivery, the energy, and the motivation. Exposing ourselves to emotionally charged information outlets is deteriorating our minds and creating chemical imbalances in our brains. This study also concluded that creating anticipation makes an event seem more important. For example, if we're told there's a problem, but we have to wait to hear what that problem is, we will place a higher importance on the problem. Therefore, we'll feel even better when we solve the problem or when we're offered a solution to the problem. So our anticipation of a highly pleasurable reward, which is solving the problem, makes information we need to solve the problem appear even more valuable. But once again, it also makes us susceptible to absorbing information that isn't relevant to solving the problem. But there's even more. Because when we are made to wait, then when we're offered a solution to the problem, we're more likely to accept that solution without critical thought, to critically analyze the problem and decide it's not really a problem, or to critically analyze the solution and decide it's not the right solution to the problem would be to admit that we were made fools of, that we wasted our time waiting for some asshole to share information that wasn't valuable. And the more likely we are to judge ourselves for being made fools of, the less likely we are willing to admit it happened. This is a dirty trick, but it's one that we participate in order to make it effective. When we relax a little bit and realize that you live and learn, and that sometimes we get made fools of, and sometimes we get tricked, and that we don't need to come down on ourselves for it, we'll be more willing to admit when we have wasted our time and when the information that we have been given is not accurate. One of the conclusions we can draw from this information is that if we are in a constant state of stress, and if we are convinced that we are constantly in danger and under threat, and if suspense can be created around that information, then we will gluttonously pursue and consume useless info. Now you can see how easy it is to start valuing information as much as earning a living. So just a quick recap. It's natural to want to collect information. We get a chemical reward for it. But stress and suspense supercharge that desire and make us susceptible to collecting useless information. We also become susceptible to accepting someone else's narrative about what problems we face and what the solutions are. In the process, we damage our brain chemistry, creating imbalances, lethargy, depression, self-judgment, and insecurity. Even in the pursuit of truth, if we're subjecting ourselves to high levels of stress and suspense, we will not find that truth because we won't be able to see it. If the sources of factual information are delivering it in a stressful way, we will never arrive where we want to go. We will only become addicted to collecting more information, never sitting in the silence necessary to filter through the information, process out the bad and keep the good, and then integrate the good into our understanding of the world and act on it. We will not see what our path is, what we should do in our own lives. It's not always about the words coming out of a person's mouth. It's about the energy they project in the process. It's about their inner condition. It's about what they embody and demonstrate. That is what we receive the most.